mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه وبعد. My dear viewers, welcome to another live edition of Ask Huda in another beautiful day in a beautiful month of Ramadan. Our phone numbers and the contact informations are as follows, beginning with area code 002, then 02 3855 131, alternatively area code 002, then 010054693323. The WhatsApp numbers are area code 001 347 80625, and finally WhatsApp number area code 001 361 4891503. We're live on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel as well. Our first caller is Sister Aziza from Qatar. Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. رمضان مبارك يا شيخ.
Ramadan Mubarak to you and to your family.
جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا. I have two questions. The first one about the prayer of the Prophet Dowry alayhi salam. It says the most beloved prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the prayer of the Prophet Dowry alayhi salam. My question is, which is related that he slept a half of the night and prayed a third and sleep 6 of the night. So my question is, if whoever wants to put this into practice, how should we work out of the time? And for the second question, could you please bring a relation between the other narration, which is about the last third of the night time, inshallah.
A narration about the last, your last question, Sister Aziza.
Last third of the night, about the virtue as well for the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descend to the lowest heaven.
Yes, okay.
What's the relation between two?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Ahmed from India. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm doing great, Ahmed. Jazakallah khairan, and happy and blessed Ramadan to you and to your family. Go ahead, Akhi.
My question is, what is the ruling on online Jummah khutbah?
Khutbatul Jum'ah. You're talking about during the closure of the masajid?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmed from India. Sister Aziza had a couple questions pertaining to the best of the night prayer, as the Prophet ﷺ said, and this is in the sound hadith which is collected by Imam Bukhari: أفضل الصيام صيام داود, and أفضل الصلاة صيام داود, peace be upon him. So he said, in describing how he used to pray the night prayer, he would sleep to half of the night, then he will get up to pray for 1/3 of the night, then he would rest for the remaining 1/6 of the night. So the person can do that, as the Prophet ﷺ himself used to postpone his night prayer until it is before Fajr, the last 1/3 of the night, and then before Fajr he would lie down on his right side and he would rest a little bit until it is Fajr prayer already. Obviously that most of us cannot afford to do that, and if we do it occasionally, then most of those who do it would not do it on a regular basis. But there are people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed with the very high zealous and the strength of Iman, and they do it. The last 1/3 of the night is the most praiseworthy part of the night, due to the fact that in another sound hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, our Almighty Allah descends by himself to our woolly sky, and then he calls upon those who are in prayer, either standing up and reciting or prostrating themselves and invoking Allah, and he calls upon them. He has told us, he says, is there anyone who's seeking forgiveness? So I shall grant him forgiveness. Is there anyone who has a mas'ala or request, so I shall answer his request? Is there anyone who is asking for anything so that I can accept his dua and deliver whatever he wants me to deliver to him? هل من داع فأجيبه؟ هل من مستغفر فأغفر له؟ هل من تائب فأتوب عليه? Etc. These calls from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would meet people who are awake in the prayer. هل من سائل فأعطيه? If the person is praying and is asking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this time, then his dua and his mas'ala will be accepted and will be answered. That's why this time is very virtuous. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shamil from the UK. Assalamu alaikum, Shamil.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda, Akhi.
What is a fabricated hadith? What is the difference between a weak hadith and an authentic hadith? And what's the difference between a strong hadith and an authentic hadith?
Shamil, I'm listening. Go ahead.
What is a fabricated hadith?
What is a fabricated hadith? Okay. Barakallah feek. Got your question.
And what is a difference between a weak hadith and not an authentic hadith?
Okay. Barakallah
And
feek.
what's the difference between a strong hadith and an authentic hadith?
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sabil from Bangladesh.
Hello.
Naam, Sabil. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, walaikum assalam. I'm Sabir.
Go ahead, Sabil.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Sabil, I hear you. Why don't you just go ahead and say your question?
As per you know, Shaikh, that Bangladesh, Pakistan, so low caste are attacking. So is low caste eating permissible in Islam?
All right. Any other questions? Assalamu alaikum. Sister Aisha from Gambia.
Yeah, my question is, I want to know the fatwa for a divorcee who have decided not to get married any longer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only question for today.
So, a woman who's divorced and she have decided she will not get married anymore. Correct?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, got your question. Zubair from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah, akhi. Barakallahu feek. Go ahead.
My question is, please, what is the ruling for a newly wedded wife, maybe a second wife, where the husband have not provided accommodation for her? But previously, the husband had a two-bedroom for his first wife and his children. And then he always tell the first wife to vacate the room whenever he wants to use the room, the second wife. If the first wife should refuse to leave the room, is this okay? Is he sinning for doing that?
Akhi, I want to ask you a question, Zubair. You mean that somebody who's married to two and keeps both of them in the same house, in the same flat, in different rooms?
Yes, Sheikh.
Okay.
Yes. No. The first wife he initially has two bedrooms for the first wife and her children. So now with the second wife, whenever he wants to meet with the second wife, he tells the first wife to leave her room so that he can make use of the room. If the first wife should refuse, is she sinning for refusing?
Okay, let me actually begin by answering your question, Zubair. Every wife is entitled for her independent house. So if you've taken another wife, you should not keep her in the same flat, in the same house with another one and her kids. And when a wife has her room, she's entitled to keep her dressing and the clothes and the bed, and that is her room. And it is not befitting to ask her to leave the room in order to spend some time with your other wife. That is not logical. That is not, if a person have the means and he has taken another wife, if it is legal in your country, okay, I have to put this clause, otherwise, you know, some people in their countries, this is not legal. We're talking from Islamic perspective. Then every wife is entitled for her own house, where the house could be 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, but it's independent. She cooks on her own, she has her own kitchen, she has her own closet, she has her own bed, and so on. You don't exchange and you say, because it's your night tonight, you come and spend the night in this room. No, that's not permissible. So it is her right to stay in the room that you provided for her and in the house that you provided for her and her kids. Jazakallah khairan, Zubayr. Assalamu alaikum. Ahmed from Sierra Leone. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Go ahead, Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I want to ask a question. Is there any difference to wash a good... Hello?
So my dear viewers, when you're on the phone and you're connected, just say your question all at once, okay? For the sake of time. Ahmed. Okay, we'll take another caller. Once again, before I pick up the other caller, the other call, once you're connected, you say Assalamu alaikum, just say your question, okay? Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum. Tida from Finland. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm doing great, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Tida. Go ahead.
My question is regarding like menstruation, because I heard a scholar that said that if a woman wakes up in the morning before Fajr and she thinks she's clean, after the ghusl, she has to like pray Salat the previous night, Salatul Isha and Maghrib. So I want to know the ruling on that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like if you can elaborate for me on that, either after Fajr or Asr or any. And my second question is, what's the ruling of Islam on a woman becoming a leader? For example, a president, a leader. I'd like to know.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Sister Tida from Finland. Assalamu alaikum. Akhi Ahmed from Sweden. Ahmed, assalamu alaikum. Okay, one more time. طيب, please try again. Ahmed from Sweden. I think Ahmed from India inquired about the Friday prayer. In the case of the closure of the masajid, if you guys have a place where you can get together, like a big family member, and anyway you're praying Dhuhr in congregation, you can pray it al-Dhuhr. According to Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, what is required for the Jumu'ah as far as the number is at least 3 people, 3 men who are required to offer the Jumu'ah with the Imam. So if this number is available and the masjidiyya is not a condition for offering the Jumu'ah prayer, according to the vast majority of the scholars. And that's why Muslims in North America, Muslims in Europe, who normally used to hold the Friday prayer in a rental property or a room or a conference room, they still can offer their Friday prayer, provided we keep the physical and the social distancing which is required. Barakallahu feekum. Sabil from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum. Ahmed from Sweden. Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to talk about the al-mal, Sheikh.
Naam, go ahead.
And how to calculate. So my question is, I'm just getting salary every month, and from 2018 Ramadan to 2019 Ramadan, I saved 5,000 USD. So I paid the 2.5% of this on last Ramadan. And then in this Ramadan, my account is totally around. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I hear you. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. So in this year, in Ramadan 2020, my total account is around 10,000 USD. And therefore, when I want to calculate the zakat, am I expected to calculate from the additional money I saved or from the total?
Total.
From the total 10,000, considering that 5,000 is already paid, or from already 5,000 only?
On the entire money.
Sorry?
On the entire money.
On the entire money?
Yes.
No matter what it has been paid before?
On the entire amount.
Okay, got it.
Barakallahu feek. Jazakallahu khairan.
Thank you, sir.
Ahmed from Sweden. Salim from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, Salim. Salim, assalamu alaikum. Okay. I want to tackle Sister Aisha's question. Aisha from Gambia, a divorcee who decided that she will not get married anymore. Marriage undergoes the 5 Islamic verdicts, and it's not always having the same hukm. So marriage sometimes is simply permissible, and marriage may be compulsory, and it could be recommended, it could be disliked, and at sometimes it could be haram, forbidden. So you do not tell anyone your marriage is haram or you must get married unless if you know the circumstances. Somebody like a woman who is, this is in the first place, if somebody wants to get married even for the first time, and that will be transferred with us whenever we talk about the same hukm, the verdict for a divorcee who wants or does not want to get married. So we transform the same hukm from this place to this place. In other words, a woman who's divorced and she's got 3-4 kids and she decided to devote her life to look after her kids. Is this permissible? Permissible. Okay? A woman who's been widowed and she devoted her life to look after her orphans. Allah will reward her paradise. But here is the catch. A woman who is divorced, she's young, she's having kids, and she finds a very suitable man, and he's willing even to look after her kids. It's recommended. Go ahead and get married. Not only that, we became friends, we go out, we take coffee together, and we go and come back, and I'm afraid that we're going to commit haram. Then it's a must to get married. So the hukm will vary based on the circumstances of the individual. But if you're okay, if you're cool, and you don't trust men anymore, and you want to look after your kids, and you're happy like that, no problem. It's permissible. Okay? Barakallahu fiki, Sister Aisha from Ghana, I believe. Assalamu alaikum. Saeed from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, ya Sheikh.
نعم أخي سعيد, go ahead.
Okay, Sheikh, my question is as regard to women hijab or niqab, and there's something that I'm not clear about. Is it compulsory for a woman, for a girl, to cover her face entirely? And so I'd like to know, what does Islam say about this? Jazakallahu khair. Thank you so much.
Zana wa iyyakum. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhammad from the Philippines. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead, Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
I hear you. Go ahead and say your question.
Okay. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, my question is that I was married for over like now almost getting to 1 year, and then my dowry for my wife is a sajada and a Quran, but until now I haven't fulfilled it, but I'm happily living with her, but with the intention that I will really fulfill that. Do I have any problem? Is there a sin or something?
But I want to ask you a question, Muhammad. How much does a sajada cost in Manila? How much? $1? $2? Can you hear me? Muhammad? طيب. Muhammad is saying that when he got married, he promised his bride that he will pay her a dowry of a sajada, a prayer rug, or a carpet, maybe a bigger one. Hopefully it is. And a Quran, and a copy of the Quran. He said he hasn't fulfilled it yet. Is he blameworthy? No, it's in the dhimma. You owe that, but you must pay her the dowry once you can afford it. When we say the dowry is deferred, a part of it or entirely, once you have the means, you should pay her the dowry. وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدُقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلَةً. So pay the wives, the brides, their dowries. نحلة, that's a gift for them. فإن طبن لكم عن شيء منه نفسا فكلوه هنيئا مريئا. Later on, after you pay her the dowry, if it was a big lump sum, and she says, honey, I don't want all of that. Now you're married, you give her the dowry. She possessed it, that's hers. So she says, I don't want all of that. I know that you're opening a business, you want to buy a new car, take it. Or take 50% of it. كلوه هنيئا مريئا. Allah said you can enjoy it, it's halal, lawful. She's giving it to you with a goodwill. But when a person, the dowry is something very affordable, akhi. You just said sajjada, mashallah. May Allah bless you and your wife. And may Allah bless your wife for being very kind and agreeing to marry for a sajjada and a copy of the Quran. I think this is very affordable. So you should pay her the sajjada and the Quran as soon as feasible, akhi. Thalis from Nigeria, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, go ahead.
My question is that what is the country need to be a leader?
What is the
quality need to be a leader?
The qualities of the leaders?
Yes.
You're gonna make a lot of leaders upset with us, Thalis. You're gonna make a lot of leaders upset with us because many of them do not meet the requirements. Allah al-Musta'an. May Allah guide us what is best. Rumi from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, Rumi.
Alaikum, Sheikh. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
The first one is, will you please suggest any online Quran teacher for kids?
For kids, okay. You
Yes.
mean
And
a
number
private
two is,
a private tutor
number two is
or an
when
institute?
we open a Quran and on the Arabic letter, like a ayah, can we put our finger and go over line by line with the finger instead of reading? Is it allowed?
طيب, Sister Rumi, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I can.
You requested me a recommendation of a Quranic teacher online. You want an institute or a private tutoring?
Both of them, you can give it to me, and I will see which one is better for us.
So I'm requesting the brothers in the control to text the sister with the phone number of one of our students or assistants, and inshallah you can take it from there. Otherwise, the institutes are many. Whenever you want to read Quran and you put your finger, this is how we were taught. Either you put the pencil, in the past it used to be the bamboo ink pen, the pencil or the pen, or you point with the finger word by word in order to keep your eyes focused on it. If this is what you mean, it is permissible. But if you mean you just pass by, so you read by the eyes, you don't move your tongue and your finger is shown is pointing at the word, that's called looking at. Doesn't give you the word of the reading or the recitation. The recitation, your tongue has to be moving and you utter the words and the letters from their proper articulation points. Thank you, Rumi from the USA. Assalamu alaikum. Kathleen from the USA. Kathleen, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me, Kathleen?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just a little bit of a lag. My question is, I was recently aware there's a mosque in Los Angeles, California. It's called the Women's Mosque of America. I'm new to Islam, so my question is it allowed for women and men to be segregated, like in one mosque, men, and then in another mosque, women? Did Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, say anything about us being that segregated when it comes to worship in mosques, or should we all be in the same mosque? That is my question.
So in this mosque in California, they do not allow men, only women?
Yes.
And do they call it a mosque, or is it a place, a school, madrasa, or a study center?
I think it's all, but they call it, it's the Women's Mosque of America, I believe is what they call it. They have a female imam and everything.
Okay, Kathleen, you can hang up and listen to my remark on that, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Before we take a break, it is perfectly fine for women to have a study center or a school or a room, whether they own or they rent, in order to get together and learn. They have a female teacher or female teachers. This is all great. And also, whenever it is a prayer time, a lady would lead them in the prayer, but there is no adhan and there is no iqamah for women. And the woman who is the imam would line up in the middle of the row. She wouldn't step ahead of the row of women. If this is the case, this is great. But if you, hopefully not, referring to a feminist movement within Islam where they have their own mosque and stuff like that, I'm not aware of that, and I'm not sure whether this is the case or not. But the jama'ah and the masjid is for both men and women. The mosques in Islam are both for men and women. We have some extreme people who do not allow women in the masjid in some countries. That is not permissible. Because Catholic Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, may peace and blessings be upon him, said you should not prevent women from going to the masjid. And whenever he was leading the prayer back then, men would pray right behind him and women pray in the rear, because of the nature of the physical nature of our prayer. And then they came to him and they said, "O Prophet of Allah, how come that men enjoy sitting with you for so long and oftenly? What about us?" So he told that woman to get together with the ladies and to choose a time, and then he appointed and designated a day where he would teach only women. So teaching only women during some times in order to ask their all private questions, this is great, no problem. But if we have a masjid, then men and women can pray in this masjid. It is not, and it shouldn't be only either for men nor only for women. Thank you, Kathleen. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a couple of minutes. My dear viewers, please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Our phone numbers and the contact informations will appear on the bottom of the screen for your reference, and we have some callers. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Aisha from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aisha.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go ahead.
Sheikh, I have three questions, all related. I want to ask about the purity of water. My first question is, what's the difference between pure water and water that purifies? My second question is about the addition of something to water. For example, if you take a bucket full of water that you intend to do ghusl with, you add perfume or disinfectant, does that still make it water that you can perform tahara with? And my third question is about one hadith I had about the Sahabas that asked the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, about one well in Medina that people used to discard menstrual remains, dead animals, and they asked him if it is fit to perform ablution, and he gave them the go-ahead. And another hadith that says water is pure and nothing will impurify it. Nothing will, yes, impurify it. So I want to know that, and the proportion by which water becomes impure when you add something to it.
Okay. Any other questions? Jazakum. It's very obvious, mashallah. Sister Aisha is a student and a seeker of knowledge. She knows what she's talking about. Assalamu alaikum. Abu Bakr from China. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Abu Bakr.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you doing in China, brother?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
You're all safe, alhamdulillah. Can you hear me?
Alhamdulillah, praise Allah.
Okay, go ahead. So what is your question today, Abu Bakr?
Naam, I can hear you.
Yeah, what is your question?
Yeah, my question... wa barakatuh.
Just say your question.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. My question is, alhamdulillah.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Abu Bakr, you can deposit your question with the brothers in the control. Assalamu alaikum. Muhammad from the USA. Assalamu alaikum, brother Muhammad.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Just a quick question. So how do we find Islamic financial advisors so that we can get in the US, so we can check if our investments are halal?
Amja Online.
Hamja?
Amja, AMJA. Amja Online, which is led by Dr. Salah As-Sawi. He will be your best advisor in this respect, okay?
Okay, brother. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
You're most welcome. I like the shortcut questions. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Asia from the KSA.
Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak to you and your family.
Ameen. Same to you, Sister Asia. May Allah bless you and your family.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Sheikh, I just have two questions. Question number one, when I see the tahajjud or the night prayer, Tarawih prayer, every time I have to say the opening dua after 2 rakat, then again opening dua, wajjahtu wajhiya. And the second question is that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to have sahur. So what he used to eat for the sahur. And the third is the request, can we have Sheikh Motasim for a live? That's from me. And it's a long time we have not seen Sheikh Motasim on Huda TV.
Insha'Allah. Sure, insha'Allah. So,
Jazakallah khair.
You're most welcome, Sister Asia from the KSA. Barakallahu feek. Adam from Kenya. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Brother Salah, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, Akhi, how are you? Go ahead.
I'm doing good. I'm from Kenya. I have a question.
Yes.
What is the ruling with regards to closing of the eyes while reciting Quran in the namaz?
Closing the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second question.
Yes.
What is the difference between Da'wah to Salafiyya and Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah?
Okay. Next question.
What is that? Only that.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Uzay from Ethiopia. Hussein from Ethiopia. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Doctor, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, Akhi Hussein. Barakallah feek. How are you yourself?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. May Allah be with you, Doctor.
Ameen.
May Allah be with you, Doctor. I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
The Hadith, money of Ethiopia, money of the people is used in most of time. That's saying the first 10 days and second 10 days and last 10 days of Ramadan is one of the they classify something like that. Is this Hadith sahih or not?
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. All right. I'm going to take it from Hussein's question from Ethiopia because there was an earlier question by Sabil from Bangladesh or Shamil from the UK, who inquired about the difference between the sound hadith, the weak hadith, and the fabricated hadith. So I'd like to begin by saying that the hadith which says that Ramadan is a month which أوله رحمة أوسطه مغفرة آخره عتق من النار is not a sound hadith. The whole month of Ramadan is a month of mercy. The whole month of Ramadan, the entire first, second, and thirds are maghfirah. And the whole month of Ramadan, عتق من النار. So we have already found a hadith confirming that, which would refute the claim of the hadith that you inquired about its authenticity. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, وَلِلَّهِ فِيهِ عُتَقَاءُ مِنَ النَّارِ وَذَلِكَ فِي كُلِّ لَيْلَةٍ مِّنْهِ. On every single night on the month of Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will release people from hellfire. Okay, عُتَقَاءُ مِنَ النَّارِ. According to the hadith that inquired about its authenticity, it says it is only relating to the last 10 days of Ramadan, which is not true. The whole month from beginning to end, the month of Rahmah. The whole month from beginning to end, the month of Maghfirah, and it is also the month of freeing people from hellfire. With regards to Shamil's question, in order, there is a science called the science of Hadith. So to answer your question, basically you need to attend a course of 2 or 3 phases. But in brief, how do we know that? How do you guys know that this is whether it's a sound hadith or a weak or even fabricated? We look into 2 things: the text and the chain of the narrators. The chain of the narrators all the way to the Prophet ﷺ. Each individual of the narrators must be known, and his honesty and his memory and his knowledge and trustworthiness are known to the scholars of hadith. So if the hadith has a continuous chain of narrators extended to the Prophet ﷺ, even though if it is only one source, one hadith, one sahabi or 2, yani ahad, that is called sound hadith. The text is correct, it is not odd, it doesn't contradict a clear ayah of the Quran, and the chain of the narrators intact, and they're all healthy in a sense, they're trustworthy, their memory is great, they have been admired by the scholars of hadith, then this is a sound hadith. If any of the above is missing, like one narrator is unknown, the hadith becomes weak. And then the hadith itself, the weak hadith or da'if, has different categories. The science of hadith discusses all of that in details. While the fabricated hadith, it has neither chain of narrators nor the text is correct. It's been made up, such as many of the hadith which talk about the virtues of the various chapters of the Quran. Fabricated. Okay? Barakallahu fikum. So the hadith of أوله رحمة, and its middle is forgiveness, and the last is freeing people from hellfire, the Hussein asked about, is not a sound hadith. That will take us to Sister Tida from Finland. Had a couple questions. The first question was about if she experiences purity from the menses at Fajr, does she have to make up Maghrib and Isha prayer? Let me explain to you what you have to make up in case that the menses is over, even if you did not do ghusl yet. If you happen to experience the cleanness and the menses is over before dawn, before the time of Fajr, then every prayer which shares a part of the night, that's basically Maghrib and Isha, should be made up. So if there is, mashallah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes before Fajr, and you experience Tahara, perform ghusl, then pray Maghrib, Isha, then Fajr. Okay? If you experience Tahara, yani purity, and the menses is over, at sunset, it's only Maghrib and Isha. You pray Maghrib on time, then you catch Isha on time. But if you experience Tahara before sunset, then you pray Dhuhr and Asr, because these two prayers share the daytime. If you experience Tahara after Fajr, after sunrise, you don't have to pray, you don't make up the Fajr prayer. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amina from Sri Lanka, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. The question is, how do we say Islam was started when mankind created?
How do we say Islam started when humankind was created? Right?
Yes.
Okay. Who was the very first human being?
Adam alayhi salam.
Wonderful. Was Adam a believer or not?
I didn't get the question.
Was Adam and Eve believers or not?
Yes.
Okay, so they were Muslims. Believers means Muslims. They submitted themselves to Allah. Yes, they committed a sin. So from the day one, the first day that Adam alayhi salam came to life, he recognized the lordship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Eve from his rib, and he said, Kula minha haythu shi'tuma ragadan. Enjoy living in Jannah. They were already in Jannah. They were talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They knew, recognized the lordship of Allah, and He's the only one who's worthy of worship. They learned haram and halal. When they disobeyed, and they ate from the tree, and they were expelled, and they came down to earth, the Quran tells us that they both repented. And Allah the Almighty accepted the repentance. And the Quran says in Surah Al-Baqarah and in Surah Taha, فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى فَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا يَضِلُّ وَلَا يَشْقَى. In the other ayah, فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. And that means that they have received from Allah the guidance, that whenever you receive revelation, if you follow the guidance, there is no fear, nor sorrow and grief will touch you. And if you follow the guidance, you will experience a happy life in this life and a safe return in that's called Islam. That is called belief and monotheism. So yes, from day one, they were believers, and humanity recognized the oneness of Allah from day one. When Adam alayhi salam and his children were commanded to offer a qurbani in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ ابْنَيْ آدَمَ بِالْحَقِّ إِذْ قَرَّبَا قُرْبَانًا فَتُقُبِّلَ مِنْ أَحَدِهِمَا وَلَمْ يُتَقَبَّلْ مِنَ الْآخَرِ قَالَ لَأَقْتُلَنَّكَ قَالَ إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Adam's children knew that they offered the qurbani for Allah, and Allah only accepts from the righteous. Assalamu alaikum. Last caller. I believe it is from the Philippines. Nesreen from the Philippines. Assalamu alaikum. Nesreen, assalamu alaikum. طيب. Sister Aisha from Nigeria. What is the difference between al-ma, which is described as tahir, and the ma, which is described as mutahhir, tahur? What does it mean? The word tahur or mutahhir means not only that it is clean, but it can be used for further purification. Okay? Because the liquid could be tahir, but I cannot use it for further purification. If the water maintains the three characteristics, the three physical characteristics of the water, which is odorless, colorless, and tasteless water, then it is clean and can be used for further purification. So I can perform wudu, I can use it for ghusl. When you get a bottle of Sprite or 7-Up, it looks like water from outside. It is transparent, it is colorless, and it is odorless, but it has a taste because of the additives, salt and water and gases and all of that. So it is tahir, and that's why we drink it, but not mutahhir, not tahur. I cannot use it for further purification. Closing the eyes, Adam, while praying is permissible if this is the only way that gives you khushu'. So if it gives you concentration in the salah, it is permissible. Sister Asya, the opening supplication in every prayer, in every 2 rak'ahs of the nafilah, it is recommended. Yes, it is recommended as well. It's not a wajib, it's not, I have to say it, it's just recommended. So, Brother Sayyid from Nigeria, last question about, because I need to bring to your attention that once we, inshallah, get off this program, we'll begin right away our live interview with Dr. Bilal Phillips, and I hope you guys will hang around and stay tuned. In just a few minutes, inshallah, we'll have Dr. Bilal Phillips in a very exclusive interview, similar to the one which we had last week with Dr. Zakir Naik. And inshallah, the next will be Mufti Mink, inshallah. So, an-niqab, there is a difference of opinion between the scholars whether covering the face for women is compulsory or not. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and according to one of the views of Imam al-Shafi'i, it is compulsory for women to cover the entire body from head to toe. Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik says covering the entire body with the exception of the face and the hands for women is a must. So leaving the face and the hands uncovered, according to Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Malik, is permissible, provided feeling security against the fitna. And this fitna can be caused when a woman is very beautiful, extremely pretty. So they say you should better cover your face. Brothers and sisters, to be continued inshallah next time. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.